Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. The Wayne and Spade. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess reboot for a reboot. First reboot doesn't work, reboot again. Golly, what a world we live in. All right, well, I got to fire up my charts again. Before. La da 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 da. Oh, look, I'm even logged in twice. All righty. All right. Almost there. Gee whiz, huh? We live in such a complicated world. Wow, I just got a message I've never seen before doing these webinars. Amazing. It just said, check your internet connection. Really? All right. Speedtest.net. So is my internet down too? I mean, the whole webinar thing just rebooted by itself. Amazing. Speedtest.net's changed. Strange. And let's see. 48, 49, 51, 52, 55, 57, 58, 59. 60 megabits per second. That's enough to run these webinars. All right, so everyone, everything that wants to be a problem is going to be a problem. How's your day going? Is good. All right, well, let's up a desktop. I don't even know what browser I'm running since I went through all of them. So it's a Tuesday, isn't it? May. Is it a holiday in Europe? So if you're not European, then here's the rules. If yesterday was a holiday, then today you should strike, just so you know. So it might be a strike day. I'm trying to find what screen this wants to project now. It's not that one. It's not that one. Nope, ain't that one. Yeah, everything today is the problem. So what screen is that? So I'm trying to show this one, and it's got to go 8 through 18 screens. Of course, no software on the planet is designed to display that many screens. I guess what I can do is I can put the webinar window over it. That'll help. All right, hang on. There it is. Screen 7. No, screen 9. Hallelujah. All right, cool, cool. Making some progress here. Challenging day. Nothing's gone wrong. All right, so I think you got some screen. Oy vey, this is such good progress. Yeah, let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Do not risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hey, that's cool. I don't even want to like try to run a YouTube video today. I mean, that's just too much. That's just too much way out there technology. So good morning. My name is Wayne McDonald. I am patient. I am disciplined. Helps me get through webinar software. We do these sessions 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, I know it's 8:05. Monday through Friday here at forex.today. This Friday, however, I'll be at FX Street for Trading on Farm Payrolls Live. Was it 133? 12 years? 11 years. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a client at tradersway.com. We appreciate you. We wake up early and work our butts off for you so that you can be a successful Forex trading business. The best way to do that is get out of your way, make sure your trades are executed fast, and make sure your costs are low. And if you ever need to call customer support, to treat you with respect and like an adult. It's a great business model, huh? All right, so let's see if we can get through 30 minutes. Imagine, I went through Chrome, I went through Firefox, I went through the Internet Explorer Edge thingy-mabobby. So here we are, it's attempt number 4. Multi-index came out down at negative 3.2%. Whoa, that ain't good for global macro. Greek 10-year yield is testing 6% right now. Anybody going to buy some Greek bonds? What do Ukrainian bonds pay right now? Life is great. Life is grand. Life is good. Life is beautiful. You're gonna get what you give. Gonna give what no. You're gonna get. You're gonna get what you give. You're gonna give it all you got. Something like that. So, anyways, Peter says, "Where would you even buy them? Have you tried Ev?" What is that? You're so funny. All right. So, anyways, let's look at this. This is the pound yen. Let's go back to a conversation we had late last week, I guess it was. It might have been in the middle of last week. If you recall, I exited at this orange line. We were just above it. There's a big conversation going on there. And somebody said they saw divergence. Do you guys remember this? You guys remember this conversation? Somebody saw divergence, and there was like some sort of bearish wedge, stuff like that. And I said, be very, 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 very careful in a scenario like that, where you can trick yourself into shorting something that is obviously going up. It's similar to standing in front of a freight train, betting that it can stop in time. And I said, you know what? I don't even want to look for a divergence. I said I don't see it, but I don't want to see it. There might be a way. I don't see it, but I don't want to see it. And I said maybe it might be ignorance or stupidity, but I think what it is a survival mechanism after years of being run over by freight trains. At least I was enough to stop standing on the tracks, right? And so I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. And I said, at the end of the day, it's obviously going up. Till it actually does verse, you should just let it go up. And I don't know. I think that was a great real time lesson because it did continue going up. That was Joseph. Yeah, no one's going to know what price is going to do, and there's no reason for it to stop. Like, I don't know. I just it's one of those unfortunate lessons, right? Where I never said you were wrong. I said I don't see it, but I don't want to see it going up, and that's all I need to know. And the way I behaved in this situation with my open position was I looked at, the fact that we had cleared through the monthly pivots and stretched out to a weekly pivot. And I simply got out because that was my plan and that was what I was supposed to do. And up here was uncertainty. It could continue going up, it could continue going down. But the way I was simply to be out of that market, to take profit and get out. And that I didn't want to look for reversals. Now it might have happened, and we could have looked for one on a Friday after. There one didn't, right? One didn't kind of show up. So it's best just if you're not going to be long in a rising market, then you should be out of a rising market. But you don't want to talk yourself into being short a rising market. It's really easy to do, and for some reason, I think it's human nature. Ideas that it just can't go up farther, or it can't fall further. Um, it just, I think it's built into us somehow. We might have even been talking about Black-Scholes back then. I know we had a Black-Scholes conversation about long-term capital management where they said, the spreads just can't widen any further. Well, they can, and they did. Yeah, right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, lesson learned, right? So we simply looked at the next couple of levels of resistance to keep an eye on. So 145, we're at one of those lines. So the first thing that you would look for here is a scalping opportunity. Right? And then if you're a spot trader, you might look for like a 15-minute rollover, okay, which would get you down to the 55 into this area. Okay. But the only thing you got going on here is its resistance. So you got to be pretty careful if you're going to, sell into a rising market. You've got to be pretty careful. But it is something you can consider if that's what you want to do. You believe this is going to roll over, right? And again, looking at this, we identified this as resistance. I think the bigger one is higher, right? It's monthly, weekly resistance. But whatever, it's your bag, baby. But I think when you have a loss selling into a market that's been rising and rising and rising and rising and rising and rising, for some reason I or you or whoever sells into an obviously rising market, doesn't it hurt even more when you're like, dude, I can't believe it, right? It went higher up. Well, of course it's bullish. Like I'm thinking, and I'm the only idiot on the planet that sold, right? Like if I had just bought it, it would have gone up. I mean, there were clearly more bulls than bears, Man, to me, it hurts worse. Like you don't want to be the only one. And often what I try to tell myself is it's not my job to outsmart the market. I'm not supposed to even be the first one in the move, per se. But selling into a rising market because it can't go further, that just doesn't work. There isn't a first mover advantage. There's a first mover disadvantage in trading, right? Right. What's important is you're planning ahead and waiting for things. But what are you trying to do? Identify the direction of the market and trade in that direction. Understood? Like maybe even you need to write it down. You're supposed to identify the direction it's going and trade in that direction. It didn't say anything about sell into a rising market. It didn't say predict a reversal before the reversal, right? What happened to the double top, lower low, lower high, 1, 2, 3 hammock stuff, right? That's not first mover. That's not even second mover. That's third tiptoe in, right? So I don't know. Lesson learned, hopefully. If not, you're doomed to repeat it. Doomed, I tell you, doomed. My mama told me when I was young. All right. Where are we with gold? Sell zone, Sunday, right? Sunday sell zone, down, roll reversal, down, target. Roger that, target achieved. Cool. But it did edge down. It took a long time, but it did edge down. It's a little lower than at Yehua. Shouldn't fall any further than 1250. But ultimately, what's the goal this month? 1230, 1225, 1217. He's a simple kind of man. You know what I'm talking about? It's kind of working our way down slowly but surely. I was talking with somebody about gold yesterday, and he knows somebody with a ton of gold to sell. I know a couple of people with tons of gold to sell. I'm like, yeah, well, that's the problem with the market, isn't it? Everybody you bump into with gold, or everyone you bump into in that industry is looking to sell some gold, but I haven't run into a buyer of gold. They're all looking for buyers. I said, yeah, well, the only reason to buy it is maybe Trump attacks North Korea, or North Korea attacks South Korea, and we got ourselves geopolitical stuff, and yeah, gold skyrockets. But I just wrote a paper at Harvard that mathematically proved the unlikeliness of that particular scenario through backward induction. Um, whether they're compliant or belligerent on either side, and then you randomize between the four strategies, it's really hard to come up with an outcome where they actually, start throwing blows. So, you know, if that's the case, I probably wouldn't buy gold, right? You want a little bit of risk? Go buy that Greek bond, 6%. You understand? You double your money every 10 years. Do that. Boom. Right? Greece didn't default back when the world was on thin ice. Why would it default now? I mean, right? The world is even healthier. There's no way. So you want a little bit of risk, guaranteed reward, buy a Greek bond. Be happy with it. Seems to me gold could go down 6% as easily as it could go up 6%. That means if that's the case, then the return for my risk is simply not high enough. Whatever. So, anyways, gold's still coming back down. It's not doing, it's not crashing, but like we talked about 3 weeks ago, it ain't going up, boy. Right? This is a hammock. I don't know if you can see it or not, because this was a projection. Not You can see it's not actually what happened, but it is a projection. It actually went down, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Really difficult, complicated stuff, right? Remember what they teach you, that this world that we're in is completely unpredictable. I'm like, really? Oops. Doesn't seem random to me. So that was the prediction that I drew out with these trend lines. And what happened was pretty reasonably similar, I think, anyways. So it's just moving along. But notice that there's probably going to be a lower high, lower low first, right? So you draw it more like this, let's say. Be a simple kind of man. Right? And then eventually down to here. Make sense? It's only gold. What are we going to do with oil, huh? Now, isn't it interesting? It's bouncing at a pivot point. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So what are you going to do if this ends up being a bottom? Monthly M2 is predicting $54.50 for crude. Were you on our way for a big rally? If so, is it bullish now? If not, when would it be bullish? Where would bears be placing their orders right now? Can the market price in OPEC meeting come out? Why wouldn't it be able to? Pizza's $50 for the sell. Yeah, well, I see a monthly pivot and monthly M2. And here's the thing. Somebody's playing the monthly M2. So that means it's this zone that the bears are going to play. So you might as well say rally it up into this week's red zone and then take it down. Take it down south, way south, right? Okay. So you need to make these decisions. You know, will it go up and then way down, or will it go up, down, or will it just go down? Okay. These are all decisions that you need to make. If you were going to sell it, right, do the weekly move, then you're in the sell zone here, and you're going to try to hit it down there. So what are you going to do? Okay. I'm still not a bull on oil, but I know it could go to $55. Although if it goes to $55, it just means I might want to sell it up there, right? $50 is a nice psych level too, but I don't play it necessarily the psych level. I have 50-50, right? I mean, you could be 0, but I don't see any pivots there. So I'd rather sell it at 50-50. All right, 51, that kind of thing. Okay. Take a look at pound Swissy. Okay. I believe we talked about the monthly swing yesterday. That may be in play. Target's way down here and even further. That would indicate either Swiss franc strength or pound weakness. Be a simple kind of man. Mm-hmm. Just wondering what else I'd want to do. Maybe somebody's buying it off the M2. Not quite. Maybe close enough. Okay. Now, long term, I'd love to buy pound and sell Swiss franc. Remember the negative interest rates. Right? Negative interest rates. Yeah, and it is a slower moving currency. It's just how it behaves. But slow and steady, steady and slow. Way she always goes. That might produce a nice high yield for you. Peso continuing its drop. Okay. Maybe it's coming to an end. There's only one chance left for it to drop a second time, or another time, I should say, because it's really okay. But yeah, that might be it. So that's peso. Canadian dollar still trending negative. I was talking to someone again yesterday. I think this year might be a good time to buy uh, commercial real estate in Venezuela if they get a regime change, that is. Because you don't want to face the risk of a new government repatriating your investment. And then maybe next year there'll be blood in the street for Canadian real estate. I'm hearing, you can get some luxury condos in Canada for about 20% less than, 5 or 6 years ago, which tells me it needs another year. Yeah, Joseph, the interest rate in Mexico is like 6%. Something like that. It's pretty high. 6.5, huh? 6.5%, ladies and germs. So how is the chance? Now that I don't like the word there, but how is the chance for USD Swiss franc or USD yen or KVers tomorrow when Fed's determine interest rates? I don't know. How would I know that? So when it comes to the Fed, if they raise interest rates, that should increase the value of the dollar. If they don't raise interest rates, that should decrease the value of the dollar. If you want a chance, you would look at the Fed fund futures market, right? But you already know that, so you don't need that from me. I've already taught you guys how to do that 1,000 times, right? So if you ever needed to know the chance or the probability based on the Fed fund futures market, you'd look it up. Easy. Well, and it also depends on what has been priced in and how they communicate whether they're going to raise more in the future. So it's not that they raise interest rates, is that they signal that they're going to raise more. I mean, we already know they're going to raise interest rates. When, not necessarily, and how many times they're going to raise interest rates this year. We don't know that information. So, for example, if they raise interest rates but say no more, that's it for the year, oh, the dollar would plummet. And you're like, well, Wayne, they raised interest rates. Well, they effectively, you know, they effectively lowered interest rates from expectations. You see what I mean? All right. Here's your US yen making its way now over 112, which kind of sucks because I was in it at 110. Oh well, I got out somewhere. 110 to 111. I think this big red candle knocked me out. It might have been a month. But anyway, so it's moving on up. Next level of resistance is really 1276. So there's about 50 more pips into this. Right? Right? Just a little bit higher. Maybe if you were a gambler, you'll try to get to 113. But I would highly recommend you take a break, take time out up there. So if anybody does anything unusual on an airplane, you get to be on TV. Huh? You notice that now? Kind of scary for all those people that are desperate to be on TV. So yeah, moving on up. It's all good. Up, 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 up. Okay. Try to recognize the pattern. Okay. You notice how it double bottomed, higher high, higher low. Right? See this? What does Uncle Wayne teach you in a scenario like this? Catch the pullback. If you recall on the gap, I was long here. So that's the gap trade. There's another one opportunity, right? This I got out in the consolidation, and I can see why, because you could, I mean, yes, that's trending up here now, but at the time, it could have easily have come down as it could go up. So when it's 50-50, you should take your money and run. But anyway, so it's working its way up here. Very nice move for the U.S. dollar. For more, it's more yen weakness than the dollar strength. Hopefully, you're enjoying that. Here's another one that I've been staying out of, and I'm so glad I have been. Right? You remember on this big gap, I didn't even want to look at the chart. You recall back then. But I trade euro. So, anyways, look at this. It's just still just moving sideways and sideways and sideways and sideways and sideways. So, yeah, happy to avoid all that pain or frustration more than pain. And then the beast. Well, again, what do you want to do? Not the beast, sorry, a pound dollar. Uh, what do you want to do with this pig? Right? Decisions need to be made, I think. So, you can see if you're going to play the monthly swing, you got a swing top here, try to way down. So you have to be either bearish on the pound or bullish on the US dollar. Ideally both if you're going to get a significant move. The monthly target for that, if you are a bear, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 500 pips. Okay. The other way of playing it, of course, is stay bullish. Play this like a role reversal. Right? M2 is predicting M4, which gets you up here at 130, 131. That seems pretty believable to me. On this 4 hour, the oscillator says up, 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 up off the pivot. Let me zoom back into that. Off the M2. Okay. Right. See, this is the buy zone for weekly bulls. So if you're going to like buy again, you would have done that 7 or 8 hours ago. So let's just call it London Open. And in that case, you're swinging it up here. So you should be long, like, I don't know, 28 something. Maybe you can catch a little micro dip to 29. So let's say you're long 29. Your target is it's not quite 31. It's about 150 pips in it. You got to get through that monthly. Now, if this monthly holds, like if this double tops here and then starts to turn, I think at that point I would try to sell and jam a stop and hold it short. All or nothing. Don't forget we have the dairy auction today. So watch the Kiwi dollar. That's going to move in about 45 minutes. Canadian dollar could also be affected by that. Trade war in the United States. There's a lot of people watching and eyeballing dairy right now. But most importantly, Kiwi. That's standard operating procedure. Yeah, well, okay. Canadian dollar. I mean, its flavor is negative, right? I mean, it's just doing what it's been doing every day for a very long time, right? Up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy. The only thing is it's so bullish, this pair, USD CAD. It's so bullish right now that it doesn't even give you a weekly swing, right? It gave you an opportunity here, it gave you an opportunity here, and it even gave you an opportunity here. See, this is a swing short zone for anybody that knows how to swing trade, right? You've taken the course, it's an obvious sell into here. Then look at this one, obvious buy into here. This one, obvious buy into here. I mean, it's perfect. Even the targets are perfect. This, nothing. You might even got yourself short and then, freaking out right now. But nonetheless, that CAD is hurting, man. It's hurting. Which is great if you're an American tourist, because now you can go to Mexico. It's never been any cheaper. So suddenly you're like $7 for a Corona. Isn't too bad. And then, same thing in Canada, hotels are half price. Yes, the Fonterra Global Dairy Trade Auction data comes out after 9:30. It's not exactly 9:30, but you could just sit on the website. Just eyeball that. All right, guys. Well, sorry for all the tech problems in the beginning of the day, but we survived. I find it frustrating. It takes me like an hour to get it all together. It's my time. But you're important to me, and I don't get too frustrated. I focus on perseverance. So I'm here for you. I care about you. I want you to succeed. It's in my best interest to have you succeed. It's in your best interest to have you succeed. So let's work together on making that a reality. I thank you for being on my team. I look forward to our time together every single day. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I hope you are posting on forex.today. And if you're not posting detailed trade plans, then hopefully you're either leaving comments, but certainly likes. So I would expect that you're looking at 4 or 5 plans per day, either leaving 4 or 5 likes or 4 or 5 comments. If I were me, that's what I would do. Not because I'm a nice guy, but I think analyzing other people's charts and other people's setups, I think is a way to move yourself intellectually forward as an analyst. Here, analyze this chart. I think it's bearish. You can look at it and say, well, I can see some of the bearishness there, but I also see an opportunity for bull. Think about this area. I mean, just if you're going to be an analyst, which is the first step to becoming a trader, then you should analyze every single chart, every single setup. You should be dreaming charts. And that you should look at forex.today as a treasure trove, because now you can go through and just analyze all kinds of setups and scenarios. But that's how I think anyways. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.